Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we will be doing a Vortex team. As you can see in my server currently, I think we are like 3.5 hours before reset, and the top damage dealer is 9.1 million on difficulty 2. So instead of showcasing a Flora team, I think I'll showcase a Summoners team, because in this season Summoners are not as bad as they were in the previous season. Mainly because we get to use Frost support units. So what I have in this team right now is Bremster. So her basic skill is like whenever an ally undead summon unit dies, it inflicts 50% attack, drive, necrotic damage. Drive necrotic damage, for those of you who don't know, is kind of like an enemy max HP based damage. So the more enlightenment you have, it kind of is affected by it. Every derived damage gets an enlightenment bonus, so the more enlightenment you have, the better it is. And her ultimate also unleashes a torrent of souls. We don't really care about the attack, but it triggers the tireless devotion without sacrificing them. So she's pretty good for dealing that derived damage to the Vortex boss, but I'm not 100% sure if it works as intended. There are still some issues in the summons teams in general, which I have actually brought up to the dev team as well, and I will tell you what it is when it happens. But let's go through the team first. So this we have Sharlak. I tried with other summon units, but I think because I have Galliore in the team as well, he becomes really powerful. So as you can see, I still don't have an attack percentage for an epic piece, so I'm using basically rare gear on him. And what I do have on him is the Great Demon Skull, which when an ally's undead summon is summoned, the wearer deals 4.2% extra necrotic damage for 10 seconds. So that's pretty good for him. For her, actually I forgot to showcase the artifact. The wearer attack cannot trigger critical attacks, which is fine, but deals 30% almost more derivative damage, which is what we need from her. Then we have Torin, or also known as Sylvester in the beta. So this is the problem with the summon team. So if you look at the skill, heals the ally with the lowest HP by 15% of the max HP. This always is triggered on a summon unit. The summon units are basically trash mobs. We don't want buffs and heals on them. And because you're using a summon team, you are basically sacrificing his very important skill. You want to get more heals out of him, but you cannot, simply because the way the summon team has been coded in the game. The summons should not be treated as allies. He should be healing out of these 5, not anybody who they summon. And Torin, if you don't know, is a great exceptional healer. He grants invisibility, but the biggest thing for him is his passive, which marks and enhances the first ally in the front of the hero and gives them 20% of this HP defense. So it's pretty good, and I have it on Bremster because she's probably the weakest link. If you look at the HP, is pretty low. Then we have Vinyara, and same problem with Vinyara. This skill is completely wasted in the summon team just because the summons take the skill up. Like Vinyara will put this shield and defense up on a summon, and you want the summons to die. So it becomes very challenging to manage this team just because how the skills work. And last but not least, we have Galliore. He's like the Flora of summons. So his passive, ally summons undead creature that deals 40% attack, derivative necrotic damage to nearby enemies for 7 times within 5 seconds. So whenever you have, the more summons you have, the more damage he's gonna get. And he duplicates the undead creature. So that's why I like pairing him with Sharlak, who has probably the best summon. His is this Fairbear, which is pretty good, and he will replicate the Fairbear. So that's why the synergy between them works really well. So without further ado, let's jump into it, see if we can manage to break that 9 million damage from my server. And I'll show you guys the team that the person used as well. It's I have to guess anything, it will be that he's using the Flora team. And I forgot to mention this, but Vinyara has Witch's Remain artifact on him, so every time he puts up his ultimate, he's also going to try to put a defense down. Right now, since we are limited to only level 12 of the artifacts, we don't really see the percentage being that much high, but once we are able to fully get to 20, we should be able to get a higher chance of inflicting that defense down, or defense penalty as it's called in the game. So you're seeing here that this summon, which is pretty much a trash unit, is getting the shield and everything from him. Yeah, this needs to be fixed, and I think this summon team can actually compete head to head with the Flora team. Additionally, I kept Vinyara's HP the highest because he will always have that defense up regardless of whether it's going on another person. But I want the boss's Call of Lightning skill to hit Vinyara. For some reason, it sometimes switches between Vinyara and like, as I just said, initially it was hitting Vinyara, now it started hitting Premsta. Which is, I don't know why it's happening. I calculated that the 25% HP is not enough for this one. I'm also using the HP aura for this team. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. If any of you want to explain why this is happening, do let me know in the comments below. But as you can see, we are already up to 1.5 million damage, and we are like 1.5 minutes in. Compared to Flora team, I definitely think that if the issues are resolved for this team, yeah, it can do really good. There's a lot of good happening in here, and you can see the lightning damage bonuses that is being generated by Galliore is pretty high, and Sharlak is doing like 30% of the remaining damage, and then 20% is being done by Premsta. And if I put in another summons unit which generates more trash mobs, or if I have if the issues with the summon teams are resolved and none of the summons are getting you know, heals by single target skills or putting shields and defense up on them, Premsta will do much more higher damage, because she also deals damage based off of our derived damage, so you will get a lot of good results with her if the issues are resolved. So anytime the summons dies, based off her passive is going to drive necrotic damage to the boss. But yeah, summons are not dying as quickly as I would have hoped. If those issues are resolved, I think there are better champions than Sharlak, because typically you don't want to have a summon up there for so long. For example, there's a new champion, is Zereus, something like that, I forgot his name. I tested it out as well, but yeah, the skills just kept healing the summons, and it wasn't as effective as so now it's targeting Vinyara, the Call of Lightning. I'm not 100% sure why it's doing that. But yeah, like I was saying, like Aziaris, or whatever his name is, the other summon unit, I do have him, and he would have been a better choice here, but I feel like just because of these issues that are plaguing the summon team, like it's not working as intended. So he doesn't really do much there compared to Sharlak. And he does have a pretty good aura. He has an attack up aura, and he works well with Premsta because all the summons are pretty trashiness. You don't get the Fair Bear, who does do a lot of damage, but it's nowhere near like the derived necrotic damage that we will be able to get in the end game. So we have been pretty unlucky with defense down, I feel like. It hasn't procced in so many turns now. So yeah, as you can see, the Call of Lightning keeps switching between Primstar and Vinyara. This shouldn't be happening. It should particularly be only targeting Vinyara, as I've set it up the team, but yeah, it's a bit wonky to say the least. But since today is the last day of Hero Reset, I did want to try this team out before I went back to my Wild team. There is a new addition to the Wild team who allows you to do even more damage than before, as if the Wild team wasn't broken before anyways. So we have a new champion edition called John. I will showcase that team as well, but since that will be my main team, I'm planning to do that somewhere next week. So we finally got a defense down and our numbers should start scaling up. I did want to do an arena guide, which I promised you guys before, but the way the arena is set up in the season 1, I am unable to find a match. So what happened is I climbed up way too high and I can no longer enter the Grand Gladiator arena. And I'll show you after this video. It's kind of funny that even for some of the quests I have to wait long time just to do one match. So hopefully that is resolved as well sooner or later. It looks like about, yeah, it keeps switching, like it's not able to make its mind like who has the highest HP for some reason. Thankfully it's going on Vinyara now, so our team should be able to heal it up. Looks like we finally lost our Primstar and Sharlak, so this one is not looking as good. But as long as we have Galliore, we should keep replicating that Fear Bear. And now we don't have to deal with who gets the lightning attack. It went on. Yeah, I'm not really sure because this skill is supposed to hit the enemy with the highest max HP. So it keeps going on random champions, it seems like. It's pretty bizarre the way it's working as of now. Whereas Primstar is dead, her passive won't be affected anymore. So we are relying on Galliore primarily to just deal the damage. So you can see he's pretty much keeps replicating the Fair Bear, and why is the Call of Lightning? I mean, I'm happy with Call of Lightning going to a summon. That means that my team doesn't take damage, but why is it doing that? Yeah, it's bizarre to say the least. Okay, so Galliore is also dead. Yeah, looks like this is pretty much the So the last one to survive is a summon. That summon has crazy high HP for some reason. I have no idea why. So we did about 5.7. We weren't able to beat it, but I did manage to beat it before. So I'm not sure what's happening now. If I place, now we are back with Irzelas, or whatever his name is. It's too difficult for me to pronounce. But he has this passive where 3 seconds after an ally's undead summon unit dies, summons one skeleton that gradually loses HP. He pairs really well with Primstar, so I'm gonna try him out instead of Sharlak and see if it works. I have the new Necrosis exclusive artifact on him, where upon the death, an undead creature summoned by the wearer deals 65% necrotic damage to nearby enemies. It should work well. I should even try him with Sharlax maybe. The Skull artifact. Yeah, so let's try this one with him. And I think I also want to switch the artifacts here. I'll give this one to her because 30% more derivative damage. I don't think I'm getting that from this one because the tile range is 3. So right now I'm only getting 15%, whereas with this one I'm getting much more. So I'm gonna try this type of comp. I can put him here, and now we'll be able to use attack aura from Erzilas. So let's see how it goes. In this one you would be seeing again, like it's so annoying to see this the defense up and massive shield from Vinyara going on and a summon which you want to die, but yeah, I'm done complaining about that. But as you can see, like in this one we will have plenty of summons. Erzilas summons a lot, so does everybody else, and you will have these massive armies, so the damage from Premstra is going to scale up pretty high. And he provides attack up to the summon units. There you go. So let's see how this one does compared to that one, because I'm not sure why that did so low. I tested that team before and it did around 9 million. So we did manage to do around 7 million damage. I do want to try it with Sharlak again. I'll show you. I'll put the screenshot of my run here, and as you can see, I did about 9 million damage overall. So I don't know, in the first run maybe there were some inconsistencies with other things that it didn't pop up properly, but yeah, that could have been the reason. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments below what else would you like to see